Hey guys, today's video is on replacing a water inlet valve on a front load washer. You're going to learn how to troubleshoot, repair, and replace it, and why you would need to replace a water inlet valve. This particular water inlet valve is probably the most difficult to replace on a front loader. Most of them you can replace in 10 to 15 minutes or no more than 20 minutes, especially LG and Kenmore. Let's get started. Before we get started, let's look at the top 5 reasons why you would need to replace or repair a water inlet valve on a front load washer. Number 1, when you've turned the washer on and selected a wash cycle, no water enters the tub. Number 2, the water is entering the tub, but it's trickling extremely slow. Number 3, the water enters the tub even when the washer is turned off. Number 4, the valve is leaking, and that's usually the main reason you're going to replace a valve. And then number 5, the water will not stop entering the tub even though it's reached the cycle that you selected or the desired water level. First step, of course, is to turn the water off to the washer. After you do that, all you need to do is go to the back and take off the top of the washer. You can use a Phillips head screwdriver or a number 2 drill bit. It's only usually 2 to 3 screws to take off the top of the washer. What I have always is my trusty Bosch drill. You can do this manually. I recommend you get a cheap drill, even if you don't go with the Bosch. Now you need to remove the 4 screws to the vibration damper. Phillips head screws, pretty simple and pretty easy to remove. Once you remove those, just lift up the vibration damper and set it to the side. Disconnect the power cord wire connector and the ground wire, and then remove the harness from the top of the panel with needle nose pliers. Once you've done that, all you need to do is remove the screws that's holding the main top mounting bracket. It's usually only 3 or 4 screws that I'm pointing to here. And there are a couple of screws on the back that's holding that top mounting bracket. Again, a Phillips head screwdriver or a Phillips head drill bit or a number 2 square drill bit. On this particular washer, it's about 5 or 6 screws, 3 on the top, 3 on the back. Once you remove the top screws that you see I'm removing here, then all you need to do is lift up and set this top mounting bracket to the side. Remove the screw that's holding the drain hose retainer. Again, it's a Phillips head. And then you're going to need to remove the screws along the side and the bottom. That's where this power drill or drill comes in extremely handy. Once you remove the screws from the sides, top, and bottom, then all you have to do is lift up the back panel, set it to the side, and you have access to the inlet valve. And what I'm pointing to here is the main reason we're replacing this valve. It's leaking at 2 of the ports. There are only 3 screws that are holding this valve in place, Phillips head screws. Also, I want you to notice the harness and where the connections are aligned on the valve. After you do that, it's real simple. All you need is a flathead screwdriver and disconnect each harness on each valve. Now I teach my guys a little trick here, and what I suggest you do the same thing is take a picture before you remove the valve, or I even give them a more in detail trick in my members area. So once you remove the 3 screws, one is to the left, one to the right, and this one is on the bottom. And once you remove those, set them to the side, you will be able to pull the inlet valve straight back and it will come out pretty easily. Like I said, just pull backwards, comes out pretty easy. What you do want to take note of is the outer port gaskets, which is what I'm pointing to here, because you're going to need to transfer those. They're actually pretty easy to take off. You can take a flathead screwdriver. A lot of them, all you have to do is twist and they'll come off. But of course, some of them need a little bit of encouragement. And all you do is transfer them to the new valve. Once you've removed them from the old valve to the new one, then all you need to do is insert the inlet valve the same way you took it out. Before you insert the valve into the port, make sure that the gaskets are firm. And then again, all you do is line up the hose, push it into the dispenser housing, and make sure it goes flush as possible before you put the screws in. Next step is put the 3 screws into the inlet valve to make sure it's seated correctly. And then after you do that, once you've made sure all 3 screws are tightened firmly, don't over tighten them, then you're just going to reverse what you did to disassemble it to reassemble it. Just put the back panel on, make sure that it's aligned correctly, and then just take the screws and reassemble the washer. Once you get finished reassembling, as I always tell you, always double check your work. So once you put it all together, plug it back in, hook up your supply lines, and make sure the washer works and that it does not leak. That's it, guys. You repaired an Electrolux front load washer inlet valve. Customer's happy, you're happy, and you move on to the next job. As always, be blessed and be encouraged.